Hi guys, my name is Jamie Getz, and this is my introduction video for AEP 880. A little bit about me. I am 26 years old. I was married in 2016 to my husband Adam, who works in construction. We have two dogs, Bowser and Mac, and we just had our first child this summer. She's a little girl, and her name is Sloan. I have a bachelor's in straight mathematics. I got it in May of 2014, and then I decided to go into teaching, and so in August of 2014 I started the T2T program and completed my first master's in education in the summer of 2016. Now I started my second master's in education, this one with an emphasis in secondary mathematics, and I will have it finished this summer in 2019. About my ancestry, I don't know much because I was kind of adopted, so instead I'm going to give you a little bit about my family tree because it's a little bit complicated and people always ask questions. So it starts with Donna and Lee. Those are my grandparents. They're not biological. They had 3 children when they got married. They had Travis, Trenton, and Kelly. And then they did foster care. They did foster care for about 25 years. They had over 600 kids come into their home. Some were only for an hour, some were for a couple of years, some never left. So we have a very complex tree. They ended up adopting Jeannie and Shauna. And Shauna is my biological mother. She had me while she was in high school and deemed that she was not ready to raise a child. So my grandparents decided to adopt me or take guardianship of me as well. This allowed my biological mother to continue her life, and it gave me a better chance at life as well. Now my grandparents, my grandmother was a paraeducator in the school district for a long time, and my grandfather built and fixed semi-trucks at Hayes Mac here in Hayes, and they both just retired this year. They really enjoy retirement. They like to spend time with family. Now, when I was in high school, we got 2 new foster children, and they ended up being our last foster children. Their names were Alicia and Laisha. They are sisters. Alicia is half Hawaiian, and Laisha is half black, and they are just a hoot. So we actually ended up taking guardianship of them as well. So people always ask, are they your sisters? How does this work? They are my sisters because my grandparents took guardianship of all 3 of us. However, they could also be considered my aunts because, I'm technically like a granddaughter. It's very, very confusing. But our family is very blended and it is very diverse, so I'm really looking forward to this. I have provided a picture down here for those of you that are curious. It's a pretty large family. This is Laisha here and Alicia, and then we have Kelly and Jeannie, and the rest of the family is all just coming along for the ride. It's always a blast when we get together because it's very large. Now, as far as ancestry goes, I don't know what I am. I don't really care to, but I do know where my family is, and that's more important to me. My family is a very big Volga German family. We love to bond over food, so there's a lot of glushkis, and there's green bean dumpling soup, and there's ham and bean soup, and all sorts of good stuff that we can get together and eat and create together. We're also very stubborn. That is a common trait in our family, as well as we are very competitive. So you might see that side of me this semester. Onto my puzzle pieces. The first and foremost thing that I am is I am a wife. When I married Adam in 2016, it was the greatest decision I've ever made. We have 2 dogs together. We have a daughter together. We bought our first house. He is so much fun and brings joy to me every day. I'm also a mother. Sloan was born on July 17th this summer. She is a cutie patootie, and she is just a hoot. She loves to smile and to laugh, and she has a lot of personality. She goes to my grandmother's every day, and I think that's part of why they retired, is to spend more time with her, and they really enjoy that. I'm also a daughter, and you could also say granddaughter or whatever. I love to spend time with my grandparents. They are so much fun, and they're so enjoyable to be around. They're funny. My grandpa has a great sense of humor, and my grandma is always willing to help, so I think that's very important to who I am. I'm also an aunt. My sister Alicia had a daughter. Her name is Adeline, and she is 2. She is very sweet, very funny, and she loves to hang out with Sloan. And then my husband has 2 sisters, and they each have 2 boys. So I have 4 nephews on that side, and it is a lot when they come over, but they're fun. They've got great little personalities, and it's never a dull moment when they're there. I'm also a teacher. I actually chose this photo because it was in this edition of Roar magazine. I was kind of proud of it. I love to help students one-on-one. I love to I love to teach them new ideas, and I love to see it when they get it. You know, there's always a click, and I think that's really neat. So being a teacher is a huge part of my life, and I'm glad that I chose this path. I'm also a student. I feel like I'm continuously learning. I love to get new information. I feel like, you know, you can never stop learning. So being a student is just as important to me as being a teacher. I'm also a coach. I am an assistant coach for the girls soccer team at Hayes High School. This is my 5th year teaching. I taught for 1 year in Ellsworth, and then my 4th year here at Hayes High, and I love it. I started coaching 2 years ago, and they're just a great group of girls. We have a really strong bond, a really strong connection, and they work really hard if they feel like, you know, you're working just as hard for them. They were regional champs this past spring, and I was really, really proud of them. They worked very hard, and they earned it. This year, since I had a baby, I've decided to take a season off, and I plan on going back in the future. I just need to spend a little bit more time with my daughter so I can make sure that she is happy and well-adjusted. What's funny is the head coach, his wife was pregnant at the same time that I was, and her daughter was born 4 days before Sloan was born. So he was experiencing pregnancy at home with his wife and then at work with his assistant coach, and it was kind of stressful for him, but it was a really neat experience, and I'm glad that we got to go through it together. I'm also a reader. I love to read. Harry Potter is one of my favorite books, and I am not afraid to admit it. I tell my students that all the time. We bring aspects of Harry Potter into the classroom when we're working with math, and I think that's really neat. But I love to read all sorts of books. That goes hand in hand with the fact that I'm also a movie enthusiast. When I was in high school, I had a job at the movie theater, and it was so much fun. I thought it was a fantastic job. And if I had to go into any other profession, I would probably go into something movie related. I think it's fascinating, all of the work that they put into creating movies and the lighting and what it means with the plot. And I just think it's really, really neat. So in my downtime, I'm watching a lot of movies or reading. And then finally, I'm a dog lover. We have 2 dogs. This is Bowser here, and this is Mac. They're kind of small, but they are so much fun. Bowser we call the grumpy dog because he is pretty grumpy. He likes to cuddle and stay in bed all day, and he likes belly rubs. And then Mac over here is short for MacGyver. He is full of personality, loves to hang out with Sloan. He is always around trying to get food, trying to get scraps. They are loyal animals, and I love dogs, and I will always have a dog by my side. So, I guess that's everything about me.